now looking back on it, you're 2 days clear of it. The headline, is there one? What's the headline from the 2023 draft, Daniel?
Well, I mean, I think we started with the quarterbacks being, the big story. And that, not only did we have, the fireworks at the top with the quarterbacks, but then you had literally every element of the quarterback drama was there. We had the guys at the top. You had one sliding. You had that next wave of quarterbacks with Hendon Hooker, going to third, and then it was who's going to be part of that next wave, Stetson Bennett. Personally, I didn't see that one coming, that he was going to go ahead of some of those other guys. And then we ended up with something like 14 quarterbacks, a crazy number of quarterbacks getting picked. So that was that was a big one. And and when you get on the plane and you fly home, I get the research packet, right? And we are going pick to pick, and we're flying. And sometimes, it's not until you get on the plane and you realize, oh my gosh, I can see the totality of what some of these teams did. And I looked at it, I thought, you know what, golly, the Green Bay Packers, for having lost Aaron Rodgers and they are ushering in a new era, they had a heck of a draft, man. And they brought in a big class with a lot of really good players.
So the Packers have reached a certain height for you. You like them? Why?
Yeah, I just love what they did. I mean, I think when you think about a young quarterback having, two really good young tight ends to throw into the mix, I thought they did a great job with that. I just thought that they were able to find some value kind of all throughout the deal. And I didn't realize until we got to the end that they had so many players. Like, they had a huge number of picks. So I thought they did a really nice job.
So as we all know, we talk about fit, right? Whether the player fits. And conversely, though, the question is how does the team fit the player? That's the issue for a lot of guys who just got drafted over the weekend. Did they get drafted by the right spot? Whether it's a system or whether a coach is on a hot seat and might not want to play the rookie, and then that rookie doesn't play for a while, or they sit behind somebody. Which quarterback do you think, Daniel, landed in the perfect spot for them to succeed over the last 3 days?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be honest. I think that you go right to the very first one. And we had Frank Reich on. And Frank Reich, even just when you're talking to him in our capacity, he has such a soothing, calming effect. Like, he's just, nothing's going to really rattle him. He's not going to freak out. Like Bryce Young. Bryce Young throws 4 interceptions in his first start. Can you think of a more calming influence than to walk back into the building and have Frank Reich just put his arm around him and say, hey, kid, I saw Jim Kelly, struggle and this, that, and the other. And just, he's going to be a great mentor for him. They already have a good offensive line. I thought they did a nice job in this draft. They didn't have a lot of picks, but they did get him a little bit of help there as well. So I think that's a nice quarterback cocoon for him to go into. They got the receiver from Ole Miss, going to be a good fit for him. They got a lineman from NC State and Chandler Zavala late, who's a good player. So I just like, to me, with quarterbacks, give me a great play caller, give me some protection, and hopefully a few playmakers. And I think Carolina has a pretty good infrastructure to handle that.
So then let me just go straight to Richardson, since that was the conversation you and I had, starting from the combine all the way up until we heard his name being drafted 4th overall, is he's got to go to a spot. I think you even said something along the lines that there's only 7 or 8 teams that could properly, maturize him or grow him. And get him to blossom. Are the Colts and their current situation and their offensive scheme one of those teams? Did he land in the right spot, do you think?
Yeah, I thought that was the spot you would cherry pick for him for a bunch of reasons. To me, when you look at the staff they have, they're always around Shane Steichen when he was with the Chargers. Did a great job with Herbert welcoming him into the league and getting him up and running. He's been around a bunch of different systems. He's seen it work with different style of guys. Everybody's going to point back to his time with Jalen Hurts. But it's not only having him there. To me, the offensive line's got to play better, first of all. They did not play well last year. They're going to have to rebound and play better. We'll see. I think they've even announced, they already talked about, hey, we'll let his play dictate the timeline here. We're not going to say what the plan is yet. We're going to let that kind of be determined. He's not going to be rushed right away. But once he gets out there, Rich, that is a fast track, and it's a division with a lot of fast tracks. And you've got him as a runner, which they can lean on early, and him in the backfield with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, they should – if he plays more than 12 games next year, the Indianapolis Colts will lead the league in rushing. I mean, I almost feel like that's a lock with him getting out there, and then they can slowly continue to develop him as a passer and put more on his plate there. But that's a good fit, not only for the coach you have there. To me, I think the style of play that they'll incorporate, and even down to the division and the surface on which they play.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.